I think it's important to scatter personal shoots in between more complicated shoots. I think that is how we kind of rejuvenate our creativity. I really tend to overthink and over-prepare, but in this case I just wanted to sit back and simplify things and have a nice, relaxing shoot. Or start by looking at the idea that a location can kind of guide how the person is behaving in front of the camera. I think that's really important. As soon as we walked in, I noticed that there is this beautiful greenhouse in front of us. Not only was the inside beautiful, but the outside. There were these beautiful teal doors. I kind of posed her in front of those doors and used those as frames. In the greenhouse, the light facing the sun was actually really soft, and it made her skin tone really rich. I really wanted to keep it ethereal and kind of dreamy, but also capture the richness of the cacti, and I wanted to preserve all those colors without making it too deep or moody. Terry and I had kind of talked about doing a gold look, like a gold eye. That luminance on the eye is always an eye-catching element to add, and Terry is always really good about making it subtle but still bold. Ooh, this might be kind of cool. After that first greenhouse, I found carnivorous plants and orchids house, which was pretty cool. It was kind of an interesting dichotomy to switch from an arid house to like a super lush environment. I think that's another fun thing to play with, if you can find two polar opposites and then juxtapose them next to each other, like even in how you display the shoot. At that point, the light was getting pretty harsh. I don't think there were any clouds in the sky, and in the greenhouse it was pretty diffused, but now there's yellow, which is a really hard color to work with actually in editing because it's so punchy. Keeping the shade totally on her face was important because then I can just lift that global contrast later. One of the challenges in a place like this is there are a bunch of different colors. So how do you bind all of those contrasting environments together? And I really believe that the edit is where that consistency comes from. From the botanical garden, I had in mind vaguely that we would go to downtown Berkeley, and there were two spots that I did want to shoot, but I was kind of open to whatever we ended up seeing down there. And one was the California Theater. This was a total switch from the botanical garden, from kind of ethereal to very harsh light and a more urban outfit, and we even amped up the makeup to be like super punchy. There are 1,000 things you could be looking at. So it is a bit more tricky to narrow down what frames you see. You kind of have to be subtle, but still keep the shoot moving. So I had vaguely seen this painted wall. It had caught my attention. It was actually kind of complicated. Like, there's so many lines going on, and it's such a bold scene. She's in a really bold dress with bold makeup, and there's this really graphical background. I was using light that was bouncing off a wall that was facing the wall we were shooting in front of. So she was very lit up, but it was a primarily black background. So that was a bit of a challenge, but I ended up just desaturating quite a bit. I think I did get what I was envisioning out of this shoot, which was mainly just exploration. It was a very uncomplicated, not super conceptual shoot that went well, and it was an experiment for everyone.